I'm not even gonna wait for people to get in here. I'm just gonna start talking because I am ill again with fucking anxiety. It's so bad. Like my blood pressure is super high because I'm so stressed out. I cannot fucking Anyway, I was just thinking, back on my life and stuff and how I could have done things differently and not been, in this position, right? There's some things I could have done differently, right? And that's not fall for bad acting. Not fall for bad acting, because, yeah, I fell for that. I fell for that. And it's so dangerous, like, especially in the workplace, There's so many people I just, assimilated this after my journey through corporate America. Uh, there's so many people that are in positions of power and leadership and managerial roles that are fake as fuck. They're phony. And when I look back on this, it's like, because what happened here, from what I can gather, man, this was like an organized crime ring, you know what I mean? And they're functioning in these big companies, And I'm like, how could I have prevented this? Like how could I have done things differently? And one of the things that, yeah, it's like I fell for bad acting because the person that actually was smart enough to traffic me literally came into the company that I was working at as her job before that company was a copy room girl. Literally. Copy room girl. She was making copies and making coffee. And she got a nice step up in the world by stepping into this position. It was like an executive assistant position, so it was still an assistant, right? But for her, it was a big step up. For me, it was a step down because I was coming out of a big law firm, and I had been working as a legal assistant. So I had the executive assistant stuff down in addition to a legal background. So I had this huge like bank of knowledge of how to do legal stuff, how to work for lawyers essentially, do all the court stuff, all of that. So it was a step down for me, right? But I needed a change from the firm I was at. I had been there my entire 20s and I just needed to do something different and I didn't know what. So I went looking for something and I found that. Anyway, this chick was smart enough, to manipulate the shit out of me. Even coming from that background, right? Trick me, and I think she tricked some other people too, into thinking that she was something that she was not, get me to trust her. Meanwhile, the entire time, listen how crazy this bitch is. She's got she's got it all planned out because she's jealous of me. That's it. That's the whole driver here, guys. She's jealous of me. So the first phase of her diabolical plan started with breaking up my marriage. So she did that. She introduced my husband to a coven sister of hers, and they began having an affair behind my back. Of course, I had no idea. And this is coming from a person I brought into my home. So she didn't directly have an affair with my husband. She introduced her friend to my husband, and they started having an affair. And again, I blame him. Yes, like I don't forgive him. It's his fault too. But because he shouldn't have fallen for it. You know what I mean? He was married to me. That's where his obligation was. End of the day, it doesn't matter. So anyway, she does that, like breaks up my marriage. Breaks up some other interpersonal relationships that I had with other colleagues. And then let me tell you what these heinous bitches did, man. So they basically drove me out of the company I was at by just gossip, lies. Like they were so petty and fucking mean, you know what I mean? But this girl all the while is working up the ladder at this company that we're at. And of course I can't get ahead anyway. I gave up right away because first of all, the job was too easy for me. But second of all, there was no way to win in that workplace. You know what I mean? There just wasn't. She was not going to allow that to happen. And I wasn't even competing with her. That's the thing. She was competing with me, and I didn't even know, So, hey, Gio. So anyway, she ruins my whole reputation there. All this is happening behind my back. Then they set up a new job for me, which is actually literally passing me off to their diabolical coven sister, okay? With this job that yeah, this is a coven sister too, okay? And then I get in there and this bitch, this supervisor to this new job that was going to be great and everything, is psychotic. Like she's probably, I'm sure, a diagnosed psychopath. Like she was crazy. I mean, and again, I'm thinking back, like, how does this stuff happen to me? Like, why did she step to me? I know that I have like a kind demeanor, and to a lot of people that screams like easy target, right? So I understand. I mean, I've been attacked my whole life for that reason, right? So I get that I trigger that in people, but like this one was, I mean, she took extra special caution, extra special care to literally just, oh my god, drive me crazy. And I think that's what they were trying to do, looking back. But she was so abusive towards me. It was unbelievable in the workplace, I'm like, damn, it was like she's getting away with everything, and she's got this really high security clearance. Like, this is actually very scary. But her boss, who's the one, of course, that brought her into the job, they were having an affair. And he met her, and then he got her the job there, and then promotes her, right? He's the biggest asshole on God's green earth too, and they're both frauds. They're both phonies. Like, these are not people that actually have the vested interest of the project at hand. These are major projects we're working on, like big world changing shit. And here we have these two fucking clowns, okay, that are running around trying to look like fucking Rambo, on the government's dime, flying all over the world completely unnecessarily, just going around to like shake their shit basically, and look like fucking douchebags, because that's what they are. And and the only reason I'm being so hostile about it is because they were so abusive towards me, like, oh my god. But anyway, I look back and I'm like, these guys were Satanists too. Fuck. So they were part of the coven. So then I go to Afghanistan and I break free from all of that, right? Everything's left in the States. And then I get back and I walk right into Beelzebub. So, yeah, like, this all started with one chick, and she herself was a bad actor in a position of power. And she finagled her way, up the ladder with deception, with corruption, with schemes. And she squashed anybody that would stand in her way or see what she was up to, right? Because I don't just bow down to a bitch, right? Like if we're friends, awesome. But if you're doing something fucked up, guess what's gonna happen? I'm telling on your ass. Like, I'm not a snitch, but I'm also not a fucking thief, and I'm not a fucking mobster. Like, I'm not gonna cover your ass. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be okay with all the shady shit that you do. That's why I have nobody in my life, because everybody's fucking shady. See what I'm saying? So I don't just sit back and go like, oh, okay, that's fine. You're just, doing that. That's okay. Like, I don't tolerate it. I say something, right? Like, if it's wrong, I say it. So anyway, yeah, she had to clear me out of the way so that she could fucking weasel her way up in that company. And I'm telling you right now, like I said, this bitch was a copy room girl, and she made it. I don't know how far up she made it, because I don't look at anything she does, but I mean, I think last she told me, she made it really far up in the company. And I'm thinking, like, she trafficked me. Like, there was a dollar amount on my head. How, Simon, your snake. He brought me the snake. Buddy, there was a dollar amount on my head, and like, how many other young, impressionable executive assistants did this girl have access to? How many other bitches were sold? Not bitches, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. How many other girls were sold? You know what I mean? Like me. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Thinking about, like, what else happened because she stepped into a position of power, So when I knew her, she was an EA. She was an executive assistant, so she could, like, we were on the same level. We were the same level in the company. So she didn't have that any power over me, right? She wasn't my supervisor. She wasn't a supervisor. Nothing, right? And she still did this to me. So when you put somebody like that in a position of power where they have a label, right? That puts them above other employees, right? Now it becomes a, you know, a whole new tool in the psychopath's toolkit, right? To manipulate people, to sell them, to make money, you know? So this is how dangerous having these types of people in your middle management is, guys. Really is. I can't tell you enough how much this can destroy a company from the inside out, you know? And why do I know that? It was part of compliance, you know? It was part of compliance. Bad actors in managerial roles. That's one of the things you look out for, you know? And again, the companies want to call us an asshole, you know, but no, these are the types of things we look for. You know, red flags like that. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to like talk about that. If you have, you know, employees, don't just keep shitty people on staff. Don't promote people that don't earn it, you know, make people earn it. Like, oh my God. It literally, oh my God, it makes me a physical fucking pain. Oh, Lord. Simon, buddy, you're such a good boy. Yeah, just stuff to think about, guys. It's just stuff to think about, you know? Like I said, this kind of stuff is important, you know? People need to know this, and hey, they're trying to fucking execute me, you know? So I'm gonna try to share these nuggets of wisdom with you guys about situations in my life. Hold on. Situations in my life that, you know, I made a left turn, and it's not that I chose a dark path. No, 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 no. It's the dark path chose to kidnap me and bring me into their world, right? But I never, ever, ever wavered from the light. This is what's driving them absolutely crazy. They have nothing. Nothing. Anyway, so now I'm tied up in this big trafficking ring thing, and there's a whole big group of people, and they're all working together, you know. Part of a coven, and it all started by a jealous coworker, a bad actor who should not have even had that position to begin with. It's sad too, because I think about like all the stuff that she learned from me, like she, oh my God, this kills me, man. She's a copycat, you know. So I had been in the law firms all my 20s and had really learned how to compose a nice sentence and, you know, had good grammar. I don't give a fuck now, but, you know, I used to care about like grammar and punctuation and shit like that. So, you know, I was able to compose a nice sentence, a nice paragraph even, you know, and, yeah, she copied like my style of writing. You know, and then had me blacklisted from the company. All as an executive assistant. No real power. No keys to the kingdom. Well, she had keys to the kingdom. Yes, she did. But yeah, they were able to just gut me from the inside out, you know? Oh, fuck. And then these people pull other people in on this scheme. Because now I got people that I'm like, you knew, and you knew, and you knew, didn't ya? And you said nothing. And you did nothing. And you let this happen to me. 12 years of torture. 12 years. Right, buddy? Everybody just, you know, everybody was in on so funny. Isn't that funny? It's not funny. You know? It's just not funny. I don't see how this could have been funny. I don't see what part of the plan, you know, between destroying my reputation, completely, I mean, degrading me, destroying, you know, just, oh my God, you know, completely. I can't even. Yeah, not a fucking lick of truth though. But that's the other thing. Nobody asked. Nobody said a thing about it. They all just laughed behind my back and fucking plotted against me. I can't believe it. I mean, it's just like, ugh. I thought these people were my fucking friends. Like, they were not my friends. They were not my friends. This is where I went wrong, you know? This is what kicked off the 12 years of torture. Trying to get back to the root cause of the problem and where I fucking went left. And it was that bitch right there. It was her. That's where I went left, was befriending her. Was being the one who thought, oh, she's mentally ill. I shouldn't just turn my back on her. She's bipolar, you know, she can't help that. You know, and being that good person, that solid friend that's like really there for you even though you're mentally ill, you know? That was me. This is what I get. It's karma police. No good deed goes unpunished. "12 fucking years of torture and torment and fighting these fucking assholes at every corner. Every corner. You better believe they tried to fuck up every aspect of my life. Every aspect, you know? And they were planted everywhere, you know? It's a small town, you know, Pinellas County. It's not, you know, there's only a few places you can go, you know? Once you're working at the big ones like me, you kind of know people. You kind of know everybody. Or you know somebody that knows somebody, right? Oh. And not one of these jackasses, not one person even thought it to stand up for me, to tell me what was happening. Not one person. And then it spiraled out of control, you know, because I got tormented daily while I was married. And once I broke free from that, the murder plots began, you know what I mean? And then, and that's the thing, they have this like sadistic game going on behind the scenes. Like it's a game, like a board game for them, you know, that they think of new ways to torture me and then they roll it out. I mean, you guys, my life has been a horror movie, you know? No shit. Like somebody call Stephen King for real. We're about to make him some money. Should take this story down before I die. Before I'm executed by the state of Florida. Like the Green Mile. Similar, right? Right. So, anyway. Yeah. They made sure that there were moles every single step of the way. Employees that came into my company were undercover agents for these people. You know, sent in to sabotage my company from the inside out. My little company, you know, my 3 to 5 employee company, you know, my little thing I was running out of my dining room. That's how hateful and spiteful these people are. And you think they gave a shit about Emmy while they were doing this? You think they ever gave a shit about Emmy? They give a shit in the sense that she's very valuable to them, being half me and all. And being a tool that they can use to torture me. And everybody fell for it. Not one person. Not one person even thought twice before joining the hate mob. Not one. People that knew me well, too. that I had my own one-on-one relationships with, friends, you know, people I thought I had friendships with, you know. They couldn't wait to join the hate mob. Pit everybody against me so that nobody would respond to my messages when I was in Afghanistan, you know. It's funny. It's funny. Real funny. Yeah. Yep. I've been a pawn in their little board game, you know. And I tried so hard to break free. I have. I've really tried. I have built my business. I've worked tirelessly. You know, I wasn't out fucking around. I was fucking working, trying to build a life for my daughter because I promised her a good life, you know. That's what kept me alive. That was my option, right? Yeah, there was no way I was going to be fucking killed. No way. And let you guys have her? My fucking ass. My ass. I'll come back from the fucking dead, bitch. Twice. For Emmy. And then imagine the horror of going to the police for help. And then being like, we suggest you leave the country. And then you call the FBI and they hang up on you. Yeah, it's been a real fucking fun time, guys. Let me just tell you. Got one for the grandkids, let me tell you. Whew. Then imagine the horror. Wait, it gets better. Imagine the horror of your parents accepting the bribe, and your aunt, and your uncle, and your cousins, and your mother. She probably orchestrated the whole thing. I still think she's at the top. We'll see. We'll see. Imagine to realize your whole family is in on it. Your whole family. Everybody. All of them. Every single one. In on the torture scheme. All so they can steal the inheritance. Oh. And I guess money talks in today's world, you know. They placed literally no value on my life whatsoever, and they were willing to kill a little girl's mom, you know. Not just willing, they were desperate to kill me before I found out about this. Because they knew eventually it was going to catch up. Because they were, you know, I'd check my credit or something. They had to steal my identity. So yeah, they were desperate to off me before I found out. And they thought up all these diabolical ways to kill me. You know, like they took turns picking which way it was going to be, you know. I'm just grateful that God saved me, because now I can save Emmy. I want to save Emmy. I'm going to save Emmy. Yeah, then the lowlifes have to attack my money because they really need to put me out of business. They need to shut me up quick, right? And that's been going on. It didn't work. It never worked. It's not going to work. They were offended by the collective horoscopes, the tarot card readings. That's what kicked this whole thing off with the attacking the channel and the shop. They got me shadow banned somehow on YouTube. That's why the videos only get a few views. People have to search me out. You don't just land here usually. Because I'm shadow banned. Then they attack the Etsy shop. They start buying stuff just to file fraudulent complaints and refunds, you know. They cannot stop until I am destroyed, you know. And truly, what did I do to any person to deserve any of this, you know? I don't even deserve a bad attitude from you. I didn't do anything. And look at all this, you know? 12 years of pure torture. Multiple murder attempts, homicide attempts, black magic, fucking you name it. You fucking name it. You know, this was a game, and I was like I was literally a toy to them that they took turns abusing and passing back and forth. They all took pleasure in this. They take pleasure in this. They take pleasure in seeing me like this, you know. And again, I ask, why? Yeah, it's an all's fair in love and war fucking battle with these people, and I have stood my ground. Like I said, I fucking took up magic to fight these bitches off and to reclaim my life and to help other people do the same fucking thing. You know? And they cannot stop. They cannot stop. They can't stop. I swear to you guys, I have been racking my brain for another criminal case in the entire history of criminal cases that is as fucking nuts as this. I can't think of one. I really, really can't. I can't think of one that involves so many people trying to kill one person completely unjustly, may I add. So many people working together to try to take me off of this planet for nothing, because they don't want me to spread the light. They don't want me to tell the truth. They just don't want me here, you know? Well, and they want my money too, most importantly. I can't think of one, guys. I cannot think of another court case that comes anywhere near this. Thank you, High Waist. Thanks, Elle. But yeah, this is the danger of having narcissists in your life, guys. And you got to wake up to the fact that these people are demonically possessed. I wasn't just fucking around when I said that, right? This is why I'm saying that. This is why I call them Jezebels, because they are. They're murderous. They are. And all it takes is for one of them to go that direction, and then they're so impressionable that they can turn the whole group of them into a hate mob. This is why you got to really, really, really be careful with these narcissistic people, guys. It's no fucking joke. Like, it's not a joke. They're the common sense switch has been switched off. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys are identifying as Freemasons or Eastern Stars, but you are not upholding your oath. That's not what you're supposed to be doing at all. Well, the worst part is, guys, and this is where the magic's going to come into play here. This is where the spirituality comes in. They broke universal law. They violated a lot of fucking spiritual rules. They really, really did. They went overboard. They went overboard. And now they got to pay for that. They're going to pay. They're not getting away with it in this lifetime, the next, or the one after that. They're going to be paying for this for lifetimes. If they're allowed to fucking be, still in existence. Some of them are getting wiped off the grid. Done. Your soul's too corrupt. Too corrupt for this realm. I'm sure all these people are feeling sorry for themselves. So sorry for themselves. Not even thinking about the 12 years of torture that I had to endure. Imagine how I felt when, These people were murdering me. Are you scared? You're scared of prison? Yeah. That's too bad. That's really, really sad for you. I'm sorry. You know, when I was scared, when I was being murdered multiple times by multiple different people, that was pretty scary too. You know, when I was being stalked like a fucking animal, people were crawling in my fucking ceiling in my store. That was pretty scary. When I woke up and there was you know, from being drugged, and there was a fucking kill kit set up in my dining room. Yeah, that was pretty scary. So yeah, I can understand being scared. Yeah, I get that. You know, you gotta, you know, you gotta brave up though. Like you guys put me in a war, God's gonna put you in a war. And now you get to face the same battles, the same demons that you've been sending to me. Now you get to face them. Head to head. You want to be a criminal? You want to kill me for fun? As a game? Torture me? Sounds cool, man. Sounds cool. Hope it was a good time. Hope you had fun with that. Desecrate my name. Speak ill of me. Really? In any way. Not one of you had the fucking right. Not one of you. To speak ill of me. And say the most vile things you can fucking think of, right? About somebody who's completely fucking innocent, who did literally none of the things that you're saying. What the fuck were you thinking? I'm glad you feel you had the right to do that. Now all your fucking secrets are coming to light, every single one of them. Yep. That's my punishment. The truth. The truth is your punishment. And I know it's fucking severe, isn't it? See, that's the good thing about walking with God, people. That's the good thing about being in the light. I literally have nothing to hide. Literally. Literally. Nothing. I don't do shady shit. You know? I keep to my fucking self. I don't fuck with people. I just do my fucking work, take care of my kid, and that's fucking it. And educate myself. And elevate myself. And work on being a better me. That's literally all I do. You bitches out here thinking, having people thinking I'm doing fucking what? Prostitution? Selling my body? Like I said, motherfuckers, I've never even sent anybody a fucking nude or anything even close to it. Nothing. I don't even think I've sent a picture of my midriff. So fuck off. Call me a prostitute. You're a prostitute. It's projection. I have never used sex in any way for leverage, ever. Every relationship I've ever been in has been because I'm interested in the person, right? It's not because I care about what they can do for me or climbing the fucking ladder or that they got money. Never. Not once. No man will ever be able to say, ever, that I have been that way. I have never done anything like that. The only reason I have ever been involved with someone is because I was interested in them romantically. That's it. I've never taken money for sex or any sort of sex act, period. End of story, ever. I don't do black magic. I'm not a dark witch. I'm a light worker. I work for the divine creator, God Almighty. He would have struck me down by now if I were lying about that. You guys are cockroaches. You're bottom feeders. All of you. Every single one. And you're a bad actor. This is what narcissists do, guys. I'm going to tell you all their secrets before I die. Okay? So narcissists pick characters out of movies and stuff that they admire, that they think are cool. And then they build a false persona with that character. And sometimes they pick you. Like if you're pretty cool, they'll pick certain pieces of your personality. Or if you get extra lucky like me, you get one that tries to literally crawl into your fucking skin and steal your entire life. Right? And be you. Literally be you. I mean, to the point of extreme measures. More than extreme. Okay? So yeah, they pick little pieces of personalities that they like about movie characters and people that they meet, and then they put together this mumbo jumbo of a hodgepodge of personality traits that they think that you're gonna like. And then they copy you and they mirror you as well and mix that all in. That's why the mask starts slipping, man. That's why you start realizing like, yo, you're fucked up. Like, what's wrong with you? You start seeing it real early on. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, as soon as that mask slips with me now, as soon as that mask slips, I'm out. And I mean that. And you can ask the people I've dealt with how fucking out I am. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care how much fucking money you have. I don't give a fuck anything. I don't do deals with the fucking devil, right? And that shit's demonic. I don't give a fuck what you say. It's demonic. It is demonic. It is a shapeshifter energy. I've seen the fucking things transform in front of my fucking eyes. And I know many of you have too. You can't fucking deny it. It's not the same thing. Or maybe my demons were just extra potent because they're Illuminati. I mean, I'm just guessing, just putting it out there, maybe just taking a wild stab in the dark. Maybe that's why they could shoot lasers out of their eyes and stuff. It's real. I saw it. I'm not crazy. That's the problem though. Like, who am I telling to wake up anymore? I think everybody that's gonna wake up has already woken up, right? That's the problem. That is the problem. We are outnumbered, it seems. At least I am. By a long shot. And I fought these fuckers one by one, bit by bit. Every fucking attempt, I fought them. This was a low down, dirty effort to take my kid and to harm her right in front of my face, to torture me, you know? I'm sure God's got a special surprise in store. For that one. In fact, I know he does. So be careful at work, guys. Be careful at your jobs. Okay? There's things that need to be done. You know, and this is crazy because this is my background, you know? CCEP, compliance person, right? I can actually create the training module. Maybe I'll do that to leave my mark on the earth before I die, before I'm executed by the state of Florida. I'll create a module about how to identify red flags of human trafficking occurring in your organization. You know? We can teach about this. We can teach about someone who goes around the office and tries to turn everybody against one person and who spreads vicious lies and rumors about inappropriate things in the office, right? We can teach about that being a red flag. They may be trying to isolate that person, right? We can teach. We can prevent this for other people. Because these fuckers are everywhere, man. They are everywhere. Everywhere. Every job I've been at, they've been there. Monitoring. And abusing me. Literally. I've had such bad luck at work. I stuck it out though, man. Whew. I was the narc whisperer for a long time. I was. Not anymore. Not anymore, because this is where it got me. And this is where it'll get you too. It will. They want to bring you down to the bottom of the barrel. I mean, the total bottom of the barrel. They want to see you suffer. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're married to them. They still want to see you suffer. And you know that. You know that deep inside. Even if it's your own mother. Trust me, mine very likely orchestrated all of this. My own mother. For the money, man. You know? For the money, man. She's got to live that high life, you know? And she had so much given to her. Like, she's never had to work. You know, since she's never had to work. My dad paid the bills when we were younger, and my grandmother, who worked her ass off cleaning houses and stuff and in a factory, you know, so that my mom could stay home and be a stay-at-home mom. She was accommodated, completely accommodated. She didn't have to work. And then she marries my stepdad, and she, again, doesn't have to work because he's in the army, you know. So they get housing and all that. And it wasn't enough, you know. And then my stepdad, you know, goes off to work as a contractor, so he's making good money, you know what I mean? So she's got way more than he was making in the army, and even that's not enough, you know? Even with the income, like, going all the way up, it wasn't enough. She needed more. And she stole a lot of money from my grandfather while he was alive. And I stopped talking to her in 2011 when she told me she stole my stepdad's identity. She was crying. She called me for money. This is when she would call me for money, right? She's crying. She used to say she couldn't feed the kids. Again, you know, I'm in my 20s working my ass off, And here's my mother calling me, crying, about food for her kids, Anyway, she calls me one day, and I don't know why she felt compelled to tell me this, but she's like, something happened. Oh, she needed money. I'm like, why? What do you need money for? And she was lying. She didn't want to tell me. Finally, she goes, I stole Tony's identity and took out a credit card. And if he finds out, he's going to divorce me. So I need the money to pay off the credit card before he finds out. So this was going to be like a valid excuse, right? In her mind, that I was going to be like, oh, yeah, that's fine, Mom. I get it. Yeah, we all steal our husband's identity every now and then. It's fine. It's not fine. Obviously. I'm like, oh my God, my stepdad's sitting in the hole, in like Afghanistan. And she's over here, like, risking his life to support her lifestyle. And she's over here stealing his fucking identity, opening credit cards in his name, taking loans out. And it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough, guys. It still wasn't enough. Nope. She had to attempt to kill her own daughter for her daughter's inheritance from her biological father's side of the family. Yep. That's how low these narcissists go, guys. That's how low they go. That's how low. Yeah, participating in a scheme to kill her daughter. But that's not all that happened to me, guys. You remember, they paid people to violently rape me as well. Thanks, Mom. Whew, yeah. Yeah, it's just been a tough pill to swallow, you know what I mean? It's just been a tough pill to swallow. Yeah, I can get the jealous coworker bitch. Ha ha ha, funny, right? I can't get my mother getting in on it. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's like, it's not just the murder, it's the torture. And again, may I ask why? May I? Because last time, remember, all I was awesome. You know what I mean? I was a good kid. I was a real good kid, I had a 4.1 GPA in high school, right? I was set to go in the Air Force right before 9/11. I didn't end up going because of that. So, yeah, I was all kinds of in good shape, But, then I had to drop out my senior year to take care of her kids. With her promising to homeschool me, and that never happened. So I didn't even get my GED until I moved to Florida 3 years later. Yeah. But yeah, I had to drop out of high school for her too, And then as soon as she could, she threw me on the streets. This was a setup from the beginning, It was a setup from the beginning. Like, I knew she hated me, but I really didn't think she wanted me dead. Like, that again, that's what... And the rapes and stuff. Come on, guys. Oh. All of these people, I mean, again, why? Why? Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm just not even going to try to comprehend it because I cannot fathom what a mother would be thinking when conspiring to do these types of things, right? And not just conspiring to do these types of things, but like celebrating like along the way. I think they were taking turns to see. It was like probably a gamble going as to who would be able to take me down, like which hit would take me out, right? It was like a game of like Battleship or something, you know what I mean? So they kept doing different things to see what would happen and what would, what I would do, how I would react to it. Yeah, this is great. This is super great. Well, they were hoping to get me, again, they really, really, really want me institutionalized. Why? They want to torture me in a psychiatric hospital. They think this is going to be the greatest thing ever. They really want to see me like have cognitive decline, because I don't have cognitive decline, because I was somehow able to overcome all of this and still have my wits about me. They wanted that. Like they had it in their mind that they were going to destroy my cognitive function so that nobody would believe me when I talked, right? So that's what they had. That was their goal, right? And so they are determined to see that goal through. They want to see it happen, and they're waiting for it. This is how sadistic these people are. These are true blue, pure Satanists, guys. Like, it's not funny, but like, this is true story, okay? So this is how sadistic these people are. And remember, guys, I've never, ever, ever been anything but good to these people, right? I've always been the sweetest person. And this is what they're sitting at home thinking. They're thinking of ways to like torture me, and they want to like bear witness, and they want to like, because they're demonic, they're demons. So they want to like, they promised that they would sacrifice me to Satan. And I think somebody promised me, either my mother, I think my mom and Kevin, I think they promised to sacrifice me to Satan when they met. That I was going to be their sacrifice, which is why they kept leaving me places, which is why they kept like, they didn't want me over there. They tried to keep me, at my grandmother's, and that's where all this started, right? So it was like, let the games begin, and here I am, loving them, and they're loving this because they're like, how stupid is this bitch, like how dumb is she? Like, she's loving us and we're fucking just railing her behind the scenes, planning this. This was like the grand finale in their head, they thought this was going to be like the big takedown of God's warrior, like the warrior that just wouldn't die. Yeah, because all they can do is think about like movies and movie clips, right? Because that's what they are. They live in a fantasy world. These people, they live in a fantasy world. In their world, this is law. Like, this is like how they handle light workers. This is how they handle God's people. You better believe it. They think they got it all figured out. They got it all figured out. They're smarter than everybody. They got 90% of the community just fooled. And then there's a couple people like me, right, that are like onto them. But like I said, it's been an interesting dynamic knowing that they know that I know, and we can openly both, have that conversation or converse as though that is the case, which is true. Just like with the cop when I had to pick up the restraining orders, like he knows that I know what they're doing, and I know that he knows that I work for God, So it's like, but they've infiltrated everything, guys. That's the thing. That's the thing, Yep. So yeah. Anyway, welcome to Satanism. I'm worried for the general public though, because I don't know what the next steps are gonna be. I'm really thinking. I mean, this is a hostile takeover, guys. This is what it is, okay? So I'm thinking it has to do with Trump and his arrest. That's what I'm thinking. That's my psychic prediction on that. I think that it depends on how that pans out. I don't know. I'm just, again, I'm guessing. I'm just trying to predict. Anyway, I don't know if they were officially going to announce that they have taken over, or if they were just going to slowly like implement the New World Order instead of like have a shocking announcement. I mean, I'm assuming they had, they're grandiose narcissists, so these Satanists, so they have to make this like grand, you know, inauguration plan, and this is the New World Order. I think it was supposed to be when Trump, you know, was inaugurated. That's it. See, there we go. Thank you, psychic abilities. So, okay, so when Trump was inaugurated, that's what I'm thinking now. The plan was to have a grandiose announcement that this was the New World Order, that the new laws took place, and then this would be it, right? It would be that you are now trafficked, you're trapped, you know? You have no rights, you have no freedoms, wah ha ha ha, we're taking your children, ha 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 ha. That's what it is, guys. This is truth, okay? And it sounds fantastic. It sounds like it can't be true. There's no way this could have happened. Yes, this is true. So just know this, guys. I'm just telling you. They're trying to execute me before then, right? For talking about this stuff. But this was the plan. And the new plan means you have no more rights. You're now a slave to them, and they're bigger than you, and their guns are bigger than yours. You better believe it. And they own the police, and they own the courts. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Don't call the FBI, because they're gonna hang up on you. See what I mean? This is the trap, guys. It's a trap. You know, I got fucking trapped here. I didn't want to be here. I don't want to be here. You know, I loved Florida, yes, but I can't live here anymore. I don't belong here. They don't want me here, and I'm fine with that. I'd love to leave. I'm not leaving my kid, guys. You can't have her. You can't have her. No. Nope. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, never. But when you have demonic judges and demonic attorneys, spineless cowards who violate the Constitution and violates human rights in general, you know, they have no, again, guys, you have to remember, these are narcissists. They don't feel guilt, and they don't feel remorse. They don't feel guilt, you know? So, like, if there's $1 million set on the table for them, and all you got to do is just kill that girl right there, that useless piece of shit over there, that prostitute, you know? All you got to do is just take her out. They're taking the money. And they're going to justify it in their head with whatever means. That's why they make up these vicious lies about you, to say like you're doing something wrong, that you deserve this, that you know, so that in their mind they can say, well, she's just a prostitute anyway, or whatever he justified doing this for. Or maybe he just likes to take bribes. That's possible. I worked for a crooked lawyer one time, most stressful year of my fucking life, let me just tell you. And he had high profile clients, like, oh my god, it was really stressful, guys. But I met a lot of high profile people. I was a paralegal at that firm. I had my own office. It was in the Progress Energy building, downtown St. Pete. I don't remember what floor, actually. I want to say 27th, but no, I had a corner office overlooking the bay. That was my first job after Afghanistan. And you know, I get in there, and this guy, well, his partner is the one that wanted to hire me so bad, because he saw my background, and he was like, oh my god, this is somebody that can help me. So he had suspected his partner of being crooked, and he sees on my background that I've got all the secret clearance, you know, the military stuff, the law firm stuff, all of this really cool stuff, you know. And he's like, oh, you have integrity, like you can help me. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. I went in there and started working for him and realized, yeah, this ain't right. And then as I started trying to clean everything up, like he didn't want to bill his time ever. He was like 6 months behind on time. Like he hadn't sent out any bills in over 6 months to any clients. So like his partner's like, bro, we need money. Like, you know, like you got to bill your clients. And he didn't want to do it. And so like, you know, I had to come in there and literally put all the time in, find all the time, you know, go back to his emails and see what he did that day, look at his calendar, try to figure out what the fuck, you know. It's so bad, guys. Yeah, he was corrupt as fuck. Anyway, I still don't know the extent of what all he was doing, but I was there long enough to shine the light, let the partner know everything I knew. He was then able to separate from him, and they went their separate ways, right? Now, unfortunately, the partner, I'm sure suffered, he told me he suffered a lot of losses. I don't know what the dollar amount was. I don't know if it was even, you know, computable. But yeah, working for a crooked lawyer was the most stressful year of my life. Well, not in my life. But yeah, actually, you know what? It was the first year I was married to Beelzebub as well. Yeah, it was a small firm though. There wasn't anybody from the coven there that I know of, because the lawyer I worked for was Jewish, and I don't think there's any Jewish members in this coven. So anyway, yeah, it was so stressful. It's just so much easier to do the right thing. It's so much easier. Yeah, because this guy's fucking he was living in a mansion that was owned by a client, which is a big no-no, conflict of interest, you know, and all this other stuff. I don't even want to talk about it. Ugh, that was the first time I've ever worked one-on-one with a genuinely like crooked lawyer. That it was scary, because I'm like, whoa, like I came from like a good firm, a solid firm, you know, that they don't violate the bar's rules of ethics, you know what I mean, like at all. And because the firm I came from in my 20s, which is why also I was so innocent and naive with the trafficker, because I had been sheltered by this law firm, right? That it was all people with integrity. It was all like, you know, people of the light. Anybody that came in that was like on the dark side, they'd get them out, you know. They didn't tolerate this stuff. Tolerate people talking like that about people, interrupting business operations. Come on, you know. So yeah, I was very spoiled and sheltered by the safety that my boss, the administrator, and my friend now created for that environment. Again, he was a cop, but he was a good cop, you know? And so he had an eyeball on all the fucking shit, you know? He knew who was toxic and who wasn't, and he didn't let people fucking tear each other down and shit and ruin each other's lives and careers, you know? You know what I mean? Like you're always gonna have a couple bad eggs, you know what I mean? But having somebody as a failsafe in an administrator role or in a supervisory role over all staff, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody needs to keep an eye on this stuff and not allow the toxicity to be used in, you know, in the workplace, like, because people do this stuff, like, you know, make up lies, pick on people, you know, and then they gang up together and it all becomes a nightmare. And I'm sorry, but 90% of HR departments are toxic. HR is known for being toxic. Baby boy, hi. I would even suggest launching out investigations third party, you know, have a vendor come in and do it that's neutral if you can't do it in-house without interjecting some form, because you can't do it in-house, like, you know, without having some form of bias or toxicity interjected into it. You really can't. Like I'd worked on investigations, you know, at a Fortune 500, and the HR lady who was the lead, you know, investigator of HR. So like I was the administrator of the hotline. So like Calls would come in via third-party vendor, and I would field them out. I would triage them, and I would maintain like the electronic case file and stuff like that. I did all kinds of different things. I participated in different ways in different cases. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, there was somebody made false allegations against me. Okay, seriously, and so they were alleging all this crazy stuff that never ever happened. And you know, and I'm talking to this HR investigator lady who was amazing. She was a good person, like she was really good, but she was under pressure, you know, from another source, you know, to like find some dirt or something because they were convinced I did something wrong and I didn't, you know. You got to think people are very harsh against people who tell the truth, right? They don't like that. They want to discredit you at any cost and best yet, get you fired, okay? And this is exactly what that was. So that's exactly what it was. The whole thing was completely fraudulent. So anyway, you know, but she was under pressure to get me fired. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? Like, you know, this isn't right. You know, this is a lie. What are you gonna do? And I didn't get fired. We'll just say that. But she was like, I'm gonna get fired if I don't produce the goods, man. I'm like, sorry, dude, there's no goods to produce. I'm not going to take the fall for this. They wanted me to sign some sort of like probationary thing or something, I think, where I would agree that, you know, blah, blah. I was like, no, I'm not going to lie. No. So anyway, I stood my ground and I stayed at the company for a couple more years. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. I want to come back on. I'm going to try to come back on later. But yeah, just some food for thought for everybody. Thanks for watching.